My brother cheated with my fiancée on the night of our engagement party. My entire family took his side and told me to get over it. And now 5 years later they're ringing me up begging for 75 grand because karma's absolutely destroyed them. I'm 29, and about 4 days ago I got a call from my mom who I hadn't spoken to in almost 5 years. The woman who is now my brother's wife was actually supposed to be my wife. My brother Marcus hooked up with my fiancée Lucy on the actual day of my engagement. Lucy and I had been together since uni, nearly 5 years. She proposed to me and threw this massive surprise party. I remember feeling absolutely on top of the world. That feeling lasted until about 10 o'clock that evening when I popped out into the back garden to get better signal on my mobile. And that's when I caught my brother absolutely all over Lucy. There they were, kissing each other so passionately that for the first few seconds they didn't even notice me stood there with my mouth hanging wide open. When they finally clocked that I was standing there, they broke apart instantly. But it was too late. I just ran away, got into my car and drove as fast as I could to the nearest hotel. Then I got a text from Marcus saying he was sorry, but he was in love with Lucy. And apparently this had been going on for ages. I was in the hotel room when I got that text and I proper broke down. After Marcus, Lucy texted me saying she'd only proposed because she felt that if she committed to me then she'd be able to push Marcus out of her head. She told me I was just a placeholder. After nearly 4 days I finally went back home because I needed to collect my stuff. When I showed up, I realized my family had been living with Lucy under the same roof, waiting for me. My parents were there, my aunt, they were all there. And so was Lucy. Even Marcus had the absolute cheek to come up to me and give me this massive hug with tears in his eyes. I just stood there like a silent statue. Then once everyone had calmed down I told them I was back only to take my things and move out. Lucy announced she'd already packed her stuff and was going to move in with Marcus. And here's where it gets properly crazy. My family actually had wide smiles on their faces even though there was nothing to smile about. I asked my family what on earth they were even smiling about because Marcus had just broken up my engagement. My mom told me they couldn't change the past, but they could accept the future, and they knew the future had Marcus and Lucy together in it. Granted it was cheating, but they wanted me to understand this was for the best. Marcus said he was sorry, but he couldn't help falling in love with her. Then the two of them actually kissed right in front of me, and my mom wiped a tear from her eye. I snapped and told them what they were doing was disgusting. To my surprise, my family got annoyed with me and told me I was being too bratty instead of being happy for my brother. I told them all to get out of my house. My dad told me not to act like a child because these things happen. He wanted me to celebrate that my brother had found his soulmate instead of being jealous. They were all acting crazy, so I went into my room, packed some things and left without speaking to them. After that day, my family tried to contact me several times, but I never responded. A couple of weeks later, I got an invitation to Marcus and Lucy's wedding, which I threw away. It's been 5 years and I pretty much cut them out entirely. I never even blocked them, though I did remove them from my friends list, but since I have a public account, they could see what I was up to, which is what I wanted. I wanted them to see I was leading a fabulous life. Then my mom rang me about 4 days ago. When I answered and realized it was my mom, I tried to hang up, but she begged me for one chance to talk because they were in dire need of help. She told me Marcus and Lucy had started a business a couple of years ago, but it was failing badly, and their investors were all pulling out. So they borrowed more money, but that didn't help, and now they were neck deep in debt and the loan sharks were after them. My mom knew I lived a comfortable lifestyle, so she turned to me begging me to help them by lending them money. And it was almost £75,000. I asked her why wasn't Marcus ringing me. My mom told me Marcus and Lucy didn't even know she was coming to me as they'd given her strict instructions not to approach me. A couple of months had passed and Marcus and Lucy were struggling to even put food on the table. Now I could afford to help, but I really didn't want to. I told my mom I couldn't help them, and even if I could, I wouldn't. My mom told me I was being cruel. I told her Marcus and Lucy hadn't thought about me during their affair, and neither did my family while supporting them, so there was no need for me to think about them now. My mom began to cry and told me she'd never expected me to be so selfish. I said that was too bad and hung up. Since then, my mom had been sending several texts every hour begging me to reconsider. So I finally blocked my family. Refusing to help isn't petty. It's logical. I told a couple of mates and they agreed I'd done the right thing. Then something big happened. I was at work when my neighbor called saying there was a couple outside screaming for me to come out. I got there in 15 minutes and caught them trying to break into my house by picking the lock. I tried to ring the police, but Lucy rushed over and knocked the phone out of my hand. Marcus told me they were just here to talk. Marcus said my mum had told him about the phone call and how I'd blocked them. He told me the way I was behaving was unfair. He said he'd arranged the money for now, but might need more in the future, and because he'd sold their house and jewelry, he couldn't do that again. So he had to know he could fall back on me. I told him no, he couldn't, because I hate him and his wife with a passion. Lucy said they weren't going anywhere until I signed a document confirming I'd give them money in the future. I told them to get out, and Marcus pushed me, saying I had to help because we're family. I grabbed my phone from the ground and made a run for it. I climbed into my car and drove off. As soon as I was a safe distance away, I rang the police. The police arrived within 20 minutes and arrested Marcus and Lucy. About a week went by, and this time it was my parents who showed up. They seemed less cocky, so I let them in. My mom started crying and told me how sorry she was. My dad told me after they learned of Marcus and Lucy being arrested and that they'd physically pushed me, they decided to cut them off. I said I appreciated them finally coming to their senses, but right now it was too little and too late. I couldn't promise I'd work on this relationship. They protested and said we could fix this, but I didn't want to anymore. They eventually left and asked if I could at least unblock them. I have unblocked my parents, which feels proper weird. 5 years later, Marcus and Lucy lost everything. They're drowning in debt, struggling to put food on the table. I'm living my best life with a successful career and genuine mates. I have no regrets. Karma came back proper hard. They thought they could betray me and then just waltz back demanding money. But that's not how life works. My parents are trying to repay things, but it's too late. So yeah, that's my story. My brother cheated with my fiancée. My family took his side. And now karma's destroyed them and they want my help. And my answer is still no. It will always be no. I'm done with all of them, and I've never felt more free.